Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm jumping on here this afternoon with my day 9 of the Silly Old Bear cards. And this will be my last card, or my last class on the Silly Old Bear until I find some more ideas. Next, I'm going to be doing Flora, or Fern and Flora. It's a great set with some beautiful paper. So I'm just going to try to get a little straight here because I never seem to get straight before I start. And my internet is slow, so it takes a while for it to show up on my laptop. Okay, I think I got it now. Oh, I'm gonna say that's pretty straight. So if you're, oh, I can see why. Oh, it's I'm not gonna do it now. It's because my glass mat is crooked laying here. So that's probably why it really looked crooked on there, but I'm not going to switch it now, otherwise it'll all get off kilter. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. If you're watching live, then comment and let me know what you're doing this afternoon. If you're watching the replay, please comment anyway. I go back and read all the comments. And I also put all my videos on YouTube. And the name of my YouTube channel is Nana's Stamping Room, just like my Facebook. So, if you, because they only keep them for 30 days now. So just in case you happen to miss a couple or you can go back, I have a bunch of videos on there because when they were going to start erasing them off of Facebook, I went back and uploaded a whole bunch to YouTube just so I could always have them. So today we're going to start out with 3 cards, and I think that they're fun cards and pretty fast to make. So we're going to start out with this one, and I'm going to lay these up here so that I won't forget where they are. So this one is a Get Well card. And let's see what we have on the inside here. Well, we have all the things that are supposed to be in this one are in this one. I'm not sure why. The words we're using are from Friendly Foliage. And it looks like Pooh is down here writing you a Get Well note. So let's get started. We're going to take first our card base, which is Hydrangea Hue, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we're going to take our bone folder and crease it. And this is our mat, which is Peaceful Pine, and it is the usual mat size of 4 by 5 1/4, and I ran it through the embossing folder that looks like the rope from the sailboat set that we had. I think it might be retired, but I just wanted something to give a little texture on the background. And I can go ahead and glue this down because there's no ribbon that's going to go across it or anything. One of these days I am going to remember to put the lid on my glue. I don't know when. I need to put a note on the back of my door to the room saying put the lid on, so I see it when I'm starting to walk out. Okay, now I have a mess because the whole thing came out on my pin that I usually stick in there. So I might have to use my regular mono adhesive for right now until I figure this out, but I have to get it out of here so I can put the lid back on so it doesn't spill everywhere. Of course, because I'm doing this video, everything is not working like I want it to. Let's see if that opened it up enough. And now I have a spot of glue on my mat, which I'm going to get off. Otherwise, I know I will stick my card in it or my finger or something. I always have this washcloth laying here for things that happen like that. So let's just see if this is going to work now. I might have left it off too long this time. Okay, I'm just going to go with I'm going to put the lid on and go with my regular glue and work with this later. And try to always remember to put my lid on. I always remember when I'm using this one because it's laying right there in front of me, but the other one's usually up further away from my mat and I don't see it as I'm getting ready to leave the room. Or the phone rings or somebody knocks on the door and I leave and I forget to come back. So we're going to add this here. I have three more bottles of this glue, so if this tip is too clogged, I can always just go ahead and put it in one of my other bottles. Okay, so we have that. Now, because we're going to take this piece and we're going to add our little piglet here, who's running over to be sure Pooh's okay. And we're going to pop him up with that mini dimensional. I can fit two on there. He's pretty teeny. He's just going to be running up here to check on Pooh that he's feeling okay. I just love this paper where you can cut out the characters and make up your own scenes. So I'm in the habit of putting my lid on every time when I'm using that kind of glue. Okay, and then we're going to add this to the mat here with some glue. I see I have a glue spot here in the middle of my mat. I'm going to take care of that before I get my card over there, then I'll get sticky on the back of my card. To get off the dried glue, I use these alcohol wipes that I get at the store. Just kind of clean in case I have anything else on here. And they just make a great little pad to clean it off really quick, and rubbing alcohol usually dries pretty fast. So let's do our words while we're waiting here for that to dry there in the middle. So I have a strip here. And I use the Get Well from Friendly Foliage, and then I use the Banner Punch to punch it out with. So let me find my ink here. And my Get Well Soon. I don't think I have that on there straight. I'm going to be sure that I do by laying it here and putting it back on. Doesn't matter so much when I'm going to put it in the punch after I stamp, because I can always adjust the punch to get it to look straight. Putting the lid on so we don't make a mess with that. And then I have the punch, and it looks like I used the middle one here. See, when I cut my paper for this punch this size, then I don't have to worry about always punching out three of them. I can always just punch out one or two. Okay, I want to get that straight in there. There we go. Oh, now I gotta try to get it out of there. There we go. Close this up. Put it back over here in its spot. And I also raised it up with some dimensionals. I'm going to use the larger dimension. I think a large dimensional will fit on here. We shall see. Yes. Do you find these dimensional papers laying around? Sometimes I don't always hit the trash can, I guess, so then they get stuck on the dog's foot or something, and he walks them out to the living room. So we're going to put this right down here. And we're going to stamp the inside. What did we stamp on the inside? We stamped "You're on my mind and in my heart and sending love." So I put that all on one stamp set, I think. I'm looking here. I have all of my stamps laying here, all on blocks. So here is your "On my mind and in my heart." So we're going to put that first. And perhaps I forgot to get out the other one. We're going to get this lined up here, kind of at the top, so that I have room to write on the bottom, because this picture is bigger than just a little thing at the bottom. So, what does it say? Sending love. I'm looking one more time. I must have forgot to get it out of the container. Well, I will go stamp that later. Then we're going to cut this out. These are pretty fast to fussy cut. I remember when we didn't have any dies at all, and we had to cut out every image that we wanted to use. And when I first started, they were all red rubber stamp sets, and they weren't cut out. You had these special scissors, and you had to cut them out. So it took a long time when you ordered, like if you got a big order of stamps, it would take a couple hours to get them all cut out and get the labels put on them and get them all ready on their wooden blocks, which we don't even have. We haven't had wooden blocks for a long time either. Okay, so we're going to put Pooh down here at the bottom, and he's writing his little get well note. And I'll get the sending love put on there later. I'm not going to go looking through my stack of stamp sets here and everything. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do this ribbon. And I don't know if you saw, I don't remember what number it was, what class it was, but I did this on another Pooh card where I wanted to use the hydrangea hue color, but I had only pink ribbon. So I'm just going to cut some off here. These are not my ribbon scissors. I am going to get a piece of scrap. These are some index cards that I was using for something else. And I'm going to put it on here. And I am going to change this bubble back into hydrangea hue ribbon. Perhaps I will. There we go. It's hard. It's such skinny ribbon, it's kind of hard to hold on to. But it makes a cute little bow. Let's get the other side now. It kind of soaks through the ribbon when you're doing the first side, but I always like to kind of go over the back side just a little anyway, because it's not a consistent color when it bleeds through. So there we go. Now we have some hydrangea hue ribbon. And we're going to try to make a bow. I have my bow maker over here. I don't know if I cut this ribbon long enough to do a bow. Let me see. I just barely had enough. Oh, I didn't get it very even. There we go, that's better. You can usually play with a ribbon to get it to look exactly the way you want to. Now I am going to find my ribbon scissors because I want to have a nice smooth cut at an angle. There we go. And we'll get a glue dot. Just knocked my bone folder into my little trash can here. I will be looking for that later. I have some glue dots left over from a paper pumpkin or a card kit, so I'm just going to use those for right now. So I'm going to take it up. I'm going to put it up here on the top, rub it down, take the paper off, stick the ribbon on. And there we go. Oh, no, we're not finished because we still have our embellishments to put on. So on this one, I did use some of the Peaceful Pine butterflies, so let's do that again to kind of match the mat. So we'll have one up here. I'm not sure if butterflies come in Peaceful Pine in nature, but they are for today. And we'll put one down here on this little label. There we go. Card number 1 finished. I know you're going to say, no, it's not, because you didn't put any Wink of Stella. We are going to Stella Piglet here. We will Stella Piglet and Pooh. Just always like to give your card a little extra bling. So there we go. Card number 1 is finished. Okay, let's go on to card number 2. So this is one where I didn't have this picture again because I'd already made a card with that before I made this class. So I have a different picture to use, but they're both still looking up. It's Piglet and Pooh, and they're still looking up. So it still goes along with our greeting. So now this time we're not going to glue down our mat first. We are going to put the ribbon around it first. So I'm going to get my tear and tape. And my ribbon. Here's my ribbon. And here is my new package of tear and tape. I usually use tear and tape for ribbons and stuff just because it's easy to stick it on. And if I use glue, then you kind of have to let it wait to dry before you can really move it around. And if I use, I'm not sure that the regular Stampin' Seal holds ribbon as well as the tear and tape does. So we're going to put a piece here on this edge, and we're going to put a piece on the other edge. And since this is going to go up and down instead of a cross, see, that's going to fit right there in that little hole. Okay, but I want to put my ribbon here and here. I put it in the wrong spot, but it's not going to matter. We're going to still just leave that tear and tape on there. Rather a large piece for over here, but it didn't look like it was large enough to tear it in half. And I'm going to have 2 pieces just waiting to put onto it after I get the ribbon on, to be sure that it stays laying down. Use my picker tool again. I'm just going to go ahead and take these off because I might as well have a little extra adhesive to hold down the mat when I put it on. That's all we need is for it to get stuck on my arm and tear it trying to get it off. Sometimes this paper comes off so easy, other times it's a little contrary. Alright, so now, again I got it stuck to me. It just wants to stay stuck to me, so I'm almost out of this ribbon. Good thing this is my last class with using these colors. So we're going to put this here. And we're really not going to pull on it too hard. We don't want it to get too tight because, especially since it's cut there in the middle, it will kind of want to fold in. You know, I guess I should have put my, no, this goes behind my, I was going to say maybe I should have put my golden glow thing in there, but no, it's going to go behind it. So we're just going to add a little glue here in the corners because the tear and tape should hold it. And we want to turn our card this way so we don't forget that we're going horizontal. And we're going to put this on here. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue back here to hold this ribbon down so it doesn't want to make the next piece stick up too much. So now we're going to put this piece on. And this is going to fit right in there. I want to be sure that I have it down really good so it doesn't pop up because of the ribbon being there. There we go. Then we might as well put this piece on. See, they're looking up just like the greeting says, just like he's going up in the air with the balloon on that one. I got this moved after I laid it down, and after I smoothed it out, it moved. So I have to move it back down. Okay. So the next thing we should do is, we should see what's on the inside, which is Sending Sweet Words is on the outside. It Never Hurts to Keep Looking Up, and Lovely Arrangements on the inside with Sending Smiles. And I did the Jars of Honey and the Bees again. So here is our Sending Smiles. I gotta get it straight here. I like that saying on the inside of a card. And I need the Early Espresso ink. How about if we use the Peaceful Pine ink? Because I haven't really used that to stamp anything with yet. So that's what we're going to do. Because I have all the new ink colors laying here. I'm going to say Sending Smiles. Get everything even. You kind of put it at the top so we have room to write a little message. There we go. And how about if we do the bees and the honey in the Golden Glow color? That way I can use some of my new ink colors. I put this all on one stamping block, so that it would be easier to go ahead and just stamp it once. There we go. That looks pretty good in that color. And we also need to say the looking up. It never hurts to look up. We'll just do that in Golden Glow since we have it out here. I have this piece here and I'm just gonna kind of do it in the middle. Oh, it looks like it didn't stamp very well. Let me try this side. There we go. Then what I did is I took my paper scissors and I cut up like an angle like this on this side and down from this side. And it looks like I have just a little bit, somehow I got some hydrangea hue down here. So I'm just going to try to cut that off. It's just right on the very edge. There we go. We're going to add that to our card on some dimensionals. Very quiet. Mondays is longer days, and now the washer and the dryer are turned off, so now it seems like extra quiet in my house. So we're going to put that up there, and this goes on the inside. So the only thing we have is our embellishments. I'm looking for my embellishments. I think I'm going to use the butterflies again. And what color should we use? The Golden Glow one, since that's the main color of the card. That sounds good to me. I also have these, which is what I used on this card. And I used these like vanilla or white ones on there. But I'm going to use the butterflies because I kind of like them a lot. So we use these Golden Glow ones. We'll put one here, and a little one down here, and another little one up here on our greeting. Wink of Stella, and then we're going to be finished with card number 2. This one was even faster than card number 1. We're going to Stella Pooh and Piglet. It seems like Pooh and Piglet are together a lot on my cards. There we go. Now we are finished with card number 2. We're just moving right along this afternoon. And move all this out now so I can get out the next card. And it is Old Friends Are the Best Friends. And so again, I used this on a different card, so I have to have a different scene for this one, but here's one where they're just walking together through the forest, and so that still goes with Old Friends Are the Best Friends. Somehow I buried my bone folder. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and put down our mat here. And I embossed this with the 100 Acre Woods embossing folder. So you have to decide which side you like. I think I like this side better. I'm going to put this side down. And this time I used crumb cake for the background because I was thinking I hadn't really used crumb cake yet. And there is crumb cake in a lot of these scenes. So, there we go. Then we have our early espresso because I always try to match whatever color is in the lines around the shape. So this one is early espresso. There we go. Then this guy is gonna... Oh, I forgot to put the ribbon behind it. I don't even think I have enough ribbon to do that same ribbon thing. So you know what? I might just add some twine to this one. So there we go. Now we are going to stamp our words for the inside and our words for the outside. What are our words on the inside say? Our friendship is full of memories I treasure the most, and that comes from sentimental framing and sweet words. The Pooh set is for the front. So, I saw this other one on here. Yeah. I'm not really sure where I put my early espresso ink. You'd think it would be sitting out here because I haven't put away any ink that I've used over these 8 different videos. But I don't, here it is. Underneath some other cards I have laying here. So, we will ink this up. Kind of a little bit from the top, because I want to have room to write a note. And we're also going to say, old friends are best friends, which is this one. I have a lot of blocks laying here. For some reason, must have had a lot of words. It's probably because I did 3 cards instead of I've been doing 2. Okay, so that looks pretty good there in the middle. Now, what do we have on the inside? We have Pooh and Piglet walking together. And I already have them all cut out and everything. So that's a good thing. They're just walking here. That's for the inside. And we're going to pop this up on the outside with some dimensionals. Oop, I don't want to cover up Pooh's feet there. Well, I might just a tad. All right. And so I will make a little bow with my twine later and stick it on this label. That will look nice. I'm going to be sure I have that straight. And let's see, we need some butterflies. On this one I used I either used Cantaloupe Crisp or Barely Blossom. I think I used the Cantaloupe one. So let's try that for this one. Or I could use Hydrangea because his little jacket is Hydrangea. So let's do that. We'll put one here. One over here. And one on our label. There we go. Card number 9. Done. Thank you so much for joining me for all these Pooh cards. I hope you liked them, and if you're watching the replays, you can still go ahead and comment because I always go back and read the comments. And like I said, the next that I'm going to work with is the Fern and Flora. Although the embossing folder is on back order till August the 13th, so I'm just going to go ahead and make cards. But I love the embossing folder, and when it comes out, I'm going to get it. I just don't want to wait all the way to August to be showing you some pretty cards that you can make with it. I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye.